Sourcing. You can still outsource it, but instead of this, you can partnership with this traffic signal monitoring system with smart systems providers that can provide the tools in order for yourself to develop a decision for the owner, right? That's what you mean?
Yeah, but I can do that on my own. I'm trying to figure out what would be the value added from hiring a business expert like yourself saying, help me.
The added value comes from the knowledge and the online knowledge that I'll be selling to you. I'll enhance the whole process through the online tools in addition to getting knowledge that you are not aware of as a client.
I'll give you an example of this project. Tell me, where would you start?
I'll start by monitoring the systems. I'm not very familiar with transportation, so I don't know what type of code agencies or offices I can acquire the information from. But I'm sure there are statistical tools that I can gather. There are some data that I can analyze. This data is just raw materials that could be done with business analytics tools and then transformed into added value knowledge that can be based a decision upon. So some knowledge from code agencies, for example, from other specialized offices that have statistical data about these systems. I can do that monitoring and control using another smart systems or software systems to use it to get meaning information out of this data instead of just having the raw data.
Okay, you got the information, and obviously from the information, the city is not working. There's congestion everywhere. What do you do next?
I'll provide recommendations plans then. If I don't have the resources to provide this consulting online, I'll get a partnership that can provide me with it, and then I'll provide a recovery plan or a recommendation plan on how you can perform a step-by-step procedure in order to produce a better system or to enhance the operations of your system.
Another related question that you're talking about, software as a service, platform as a service, and lots of services I presume there will be on the cloud. Now, the number of services out there is increasing day in and day out and becoming so plentiful. Do you have any mechanism for discovering what services are out there, integrating the services? How do you do that?
Okay, so that relates a little bit to the future research, which is the technological structure required. So cloud computing is basically a new emerging technology. We will use some of it, we will leave some of it. We will determine what kind of services will be supporting our business model, what kind of services we exactly need to propose to the client. But basically, in my opinion, software as a service is very important because many clients don't have internal capabilities to support software systems. So I can provide them with this software over the cloud and they can access it and then we can coordinate it all together. Also, the infrastructure is a problem. So if I can partner with some cloud-based servers that provide computational and storage power as a service to the client. So in my opinion, those might be the most two important, to provide the infrastructure and then to provide the customized software systems that could assist in running the business. Yeah, like Amazon Web Services, if they can provide me with computational and storage database systems, and this will help a lot to make all the stakeholders on the same page.
You see my point that I'm trying to say, why would people go out of their way and hire somebody with your expertise? I wanted services like, excuse me, I'll go to the cloud, I'll go to the web. I want specific like servers and whatnot, then I'll buy from Amazon. And so on. If I find out that I need partners to count cars, I'll hire partners to count cars. So what is the value?
Then what you are doing right now is implementing the business model as a company. Instead of starting a whole new business on this, you yourself as a company implementing the business model. Through going to the cloud-based server, through partnering with a specialized consultant, then in-house you are doing this, and then you are achieving the same outcome, which is improving your operations and taking better decisions and generating more business opportunities. So what I want to say here, it's not only me as a company being formed on these business models and requiring services from the customers. However, it could act as a change map for companies that are currently existing. If they are not having this in-house capabilities, they can go use the business model in order to improve their operations through using the tools I have proposed here.
So you're banking on the fact that the construction industry is probably not savvy in these domains.
Exactly.
And then they will get you
Well, no, detailed specifics not yet. So the idea of a business model is just a generic identification. But in order to deliver it to a detailed business plan, it's a huge project that you need to identify everything. I need 5 software developers, I need 3 computers. You define everything and you define a standard, a step-by-step guide that will take much more time in order to. But the main aim here was to make sure that these business models are applicable to the industry first, and that there are a potential of applying these business models to the construction industry. And then a detailed business plan could be the next step.
You're planning on doing that? Like, where are you taking this next with all this nice business model?
Well, yeah, I might take it next by detailing a business plan for each one. Maybe now, maybe later, we'll see.
All right, thank you.
Okay, well, I'll go back to Professor Hayes' question regarding the city situation. Yeah, it relates to more of the philosophy behind what we're doing. Is everything that consultants do possibly can be put on the cloud? Are you going to replace all consultants by cloud services, or are you adding additional services to what they have already?
We are basically adding additional services to what they have.
So the scenario that Professor Hayes just mentioned, which is the city having a problem with the city roads, or the city wanting to design streets, or the city wanting to design a neighborhood, is this like completely cloudable, or this would be the traditional way of doing business, and then maybe on top of that you can add something?
It's exactly the traditional way, but maybe in this case I can partner with another office that sits with the client and gives me the information at the end, and I still have the cloud-based servers and the cloud services to serve this middleman who transports the information between me and them.
A little bit disagree with you, because the three business models here assume that there is already some kind of design, especially the second business model, and you are adding the need certification and stuff like that. And so it seems like the idea of doing the basic bread and butter consulting services online might not be something that we are suggesting to cloud, because you really need the interaction, you need the collection of the data, you need the stuff like that. What is cloudable would be just that you have access to city data, and that will help you. So it's more of an icing on a cake that you already have. And so, and this is why it showed up in your business model number 2, that involvement is
important.
So I think that the whole idea is that, yes, in every consulting service, part of your business models can be added, but there is still going to be the bread and butter of consultants, which is basically the human interaction. You agree with that? Okay.
Yeah, that's why in the channels even it was an important channel to have traditional AEC firms channels in addition to the cloud-based servers.
Okay. And if you are a firm that is offering these specific 3 business models, these exact business models, would it be possible that you go to the city and say, I will do this thing to you?
No, I don't think so. In this case, you have to mix them with the traditional channels or with the traditional capabilities you have.
Yeah, so unless you are approached by a competent consultant in this area, you say, I should not bid in this.
Mhm.
Now let's assume that the city decided that they have a design and a configuration for replacing the current signals. The current signals are outdated in terms of technology, they count cars based on sensors, but the proposal by Professor Abdelhai is to have adaptive learning and count the number of cars and change the signals based on that. The city is is considering this option, but they would say we will never sole source it. Like, we will have to look at options, Siemens and other things. Can you be at that time, like specifically made the conclusion, an independent company in the traditional way, made the analysis and came up with several conclusions to the city. The city wants some help in evaluating the competency of Professor Abdelhai, Siemens, Korean company. Would you be able to help in this?
Yes.
Which business model?
This will be the first one, the reputation management. They will give me all the information and I'll give an advice whether this is the suitable for your service or for your job or not.
Can you elaborate on this? Maybe go to the model and tell me.
So over here, what we are proposing as a value is a decision-making tools for where we provide reputation management. What we do is on the other side of a supply chain, for example, a contractor or a consultant or someone who is going to do a job, we have different parties going to propose a bid, for example. What I do is I'll get all these bids, I'll do analysis over them and make sure that I know which one is the best suitable for the client. And then I advise the client, yeah, Professor Abdelhai can get this job done, and he's the best suitable to get your work or to get the job done according to all the applicants that I have.
So most probably it's a matchmaking.
Matchmaking
The
and,
contractors
yeah.
and the suppliers of services fill out a profile of themselves and on your website where they say we can do this and this, here's our previous history. And then the city comes and say, okay, well, we are considering this project, and here are the potential bidders on it. Could you evaluate them for us? And this is in particular would be better or applicable if the city abandons their lowest bidder strategy. They
Mhm.
want an overall evaluation. So you match me, you say this matches this. So I have a few additional questions. I think they are indirectly related to the business case. And your rationale for developing the business models and whole study comes from an extremely logical point of view. It makes sense to have all of that. But have you managed to find any numbers about the size of the market, about the costs to do this? I know that it's not too fast